because we have to do that after the song starts or stops rather. It's not about copyright, although even though we own the rights to the song. But anyway, YouTube doesn't want to recognize that. So, all right, we're getting geared up here to go YouTube live streaming
I
because we have
believe
to
it
do that
is
after the
up and running.
songs. Okay, we're all good there. Okay, cool. Everything is cool. All systems go. We're on the go here. Okay, one more thing to do, and that is to record the button. Here we go. All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to DayTradeSPY.com's weekend review. Intro to trading. My name is Hugh. There's my beautiful dog, Lucy. I miss her so much. But anyway, I see she's in my heart forever. It is Sunday, August the 24th, 2025, as the summer draws to an end, folks. We've got one more week until Labor Day. I just hope you guys appreciate the fact that I'm here doing this because I could be out there enjoying a beautiful sunset, breezy right here in Western New York. I hope it's really nice where you are too. And just off the lake here, you can see the beautiful lake here, the waves coming up, and really kind of nice tonight. So, anyway, it is what it is. So, folks, the questions box where you'll find the icon on your Zoom dashboard. Click on that. Now, I am the only one that sees that, so we'll go ahead and say whatever you want. And I just want to welcome everybody. Let me see. Tell me where you're from, folks. Just curious to see who is all checking in here this evening. Good evening from St. Louis. Okay, we've got Arizona here. Yeah, I gotta get a drink of water here or something. Hold on a second. Just punch in the questions box. Okay. Hmm. Here they come. Maryland, Miami, Houston, Asheville, and North Carolina. How's your visit to the BMW plant? Oh, beautiful. Loved it. A little short. I would have loved to have taken a trip through the whole plant, but they give us a good little segment there to see. It's actually pretty interesting. If you ever get a chance to go down there, North Carolina, they make all the X models there apparently for the whole world. That's what they say. But I found out later from my BMW dealer that no, there's also a BMW plant in China that they make BMWs X models for the Chinese market. I didn't know that. I'd love to know what the truth is on that. Okay, Minnesota, Los Angeles, Costa Rica, Twinsburg, Ohio, Vermont, Toronto, Uzbekistan. Okay, sure, Bruce. I believe you. Not. All right, Colorado Springs, Tucson. How do you turn the chat on? I don't know about the chat. We're not looking at the chat. We're looking at the questions box, Merrill. And you are on the questions box. Now, I'm the only one that sees that, so go ahead and say whatever you want. All right, so yeah, we keep just the chat to just to ourselves. Just makes it easier because nobody's really monitoring this except myself. Anyway, let's get started, folks. Okay, good to see you all here. I'm gonna give you a couple seconds to read this. Keeps the lawyers happy, and not really sure why. Apparently, they have to eat too, some from what I hear. The world would be so much better sometimes without lawyers. Is John on tonight? No, John's not. I'm giving the day off here. My partner in crime, John Johnson, retired, well, let's put it this way, alumni, Eagle Financial Products guru. He was alumni for about 2 months, and they brought him back to be my co-host. Super nice guy, lives in Texas, and got a really nice kind of a ranch out there. And he's my co-host. He's also a lawyer, but don't hold that against him. We have fun with the guy. All right, folks, you're alone responsible for your own trading and past performance does not guarantee future results. And all that said, good trading, everybody. All right, take a look at the. Okay, you know what? It looks like. Well, you can see me okay. Well, there's my sunset back there. There's one more thing I have to do, and that is bring my own thingy up here. So if I can just bear with me while I hmm, get the video. I can't do the video. I have to do this. Never mind. It's okay. I get the drift here. All right, so here's what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to discuss last week's review, upcoming week, 2-minute tutorial, your next steps. There it is right there. Have a Q&A session, and we're going to have a contest. That's what we're going to talk about here tonight. Contest, very simple. You don't have to know anything. It's just a guessing a number. One closest to the number gets it. Yeah, there is one thing I do have to do, and that is to get my own. Where's my own link here? I usually do this beforehand, but I kind of got a little A little sidetracked. So now I think if I do this and copy invite link and send it to myself, I can get on here. Bear with me for just a second while I take care of this. I knew there's one last thing I had to do. I just couldn't remember what it was. Okay, so there. Now we've got that sent anyway. All right, now I just have to check my mail. It's a complicated system here that we have, folks. It's very complex. Okay, very complex. And I just have to get my own uh, my own video on so I can see what's going on here. Okay, and just got to bear with me until I get this done. Hang in there, hang in there. Okay, is it happening? All right, it's not coming through yet. Does anybody else have any issues with Outlook at all? Outlook sent items. Okay, it should be coming momentarily. Okay, maybe it will come, maybe it won't. Well, looks like it's taking its time. It's okay. We're not going to worry about it. Move along without it. If it shows up, great. Not, that's okay too. All right. Can you see me okay? Should I close? You know what? I'm going to close the blinds back there because I think what's happening is it's blocking out some of the light and it's kind of hard to see me, right? Okay, bring this one down too. Number four, and that's to number four. There we go. Okay, bring that one down. Stop. There we go. I think that's gonna be a little bit easier, right? You can see me better that way. Maybe you might not want to. Maybe you might not want to see me. Okay, I think I got the link that I'm looking for. All right, there we go. Now I just have to register and join my webinar. I apologize for this delay. But this is something I have to do so I can actually monitor what I look like. There you go, without always looking away from the camera. Okay. All right, so that's what we're going to talk about here tonight, and let's move on here. So, first of all, if you are new on, you kind of want to know who I am, what gives me any authority. Uh, well, I have no authority at all. None at all. People say, "Oh, have you ever worked on the trading floor?" No, I have not. But I have been in some seminars where people said that they were working on the trading floor. Not really sure what they did. Maybe they ran the coffee. Maybe they swept up after the traders left for the day. I have no idea. Maybe they traded. But I noticed that listening to people sometimes who worked in the trading floor does not really give you an advantage. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But what I come here with is experience, deep down in the trenches experience. And that's what I teach, the stuff that I learned the hard way. Yes, I did take some courses many years ago and I did learn a few things here and there, but most of the really good stuff is what I learned deep in the trenches, folks. That's where you learn it, okay? And that's what I teach. I also discovered some cool strategies while I was down there because it was either make it or break it. I had my history is such that I would as an internal auditor for an insurance company, I made some pretty good money, as a salaried employee. And I'd hand off a lot of it for my financial advisor to invest. And when I realized he blew half of it out the door, I think this is not good. I got to be able to learn how to do this myself, right? And I accepted the fact that I'll probably be pouring coffee in my 80s, but don't be damned if my kids are going to be getting a second-rate education because of it. So that's when I set out to learn everything I could. And I had no idea I was going to ever do this. This was never the plan, was to teach people anything, all right? That was never the plan. I don't know why my throat is a little sore here. The plan was just to learn how to do this for myself. However, other people noticed and they took notice and they started pushing me as to showing them what I'm doing, and I did. And before I knew it, anyway, long story short, we've been teaching people internationally since 2010. We're now in our 16th year and looking for short-term breakout trades. Now, I don't know of anybody else who has a trading room as long as we've had. 16 years continuous running trading room. I think that's pretty darn good. So I think we're doing something right. I think most people who don't do it right, I think they fall off after a certain time. But we've been doing this for a long time. So anyway, Let me go back to that. Where is it? Okay, there it is. I gotta get this one. Well, it's just a reminder, Spy on the Market. This is the weekly newsletter that goes out. It's free. All you have to do is subscribe at daytradespy.com. So as soon as you go on this website, when the pop-up comes up, just leave us your email address, and that gets you on the mailing list, so you get the newsletter for free. All right, and that's really pretty cool because it's just a very light, relevant, entertaining session. This week's topic is going to be same day versus longer out expirations. Now, you might not want to subscribe because I get it. If you're like me, you get like hundreds of junk emails a day in your inbox. I don't expect this to be the case. But a lot of these things I don't even know if I subscribed or not, but they appear and I'm always deleting. So, but if you don't want to subscribe, here's another way you can actually access these newsletters. Simply go to our website, daytradespy.com, and up at the top left here, where it says Spy in the Market. Click on that, and you get this thing. Don't just hold your mouse over that, and you see newsletters. Click on newsletters, and they are all posted here, usually a day or two after they are sent out. Okay, so we have a lot of interesting newsletters. Talk about a lot of different things. Some are very more timely than others. We went to Freedom Fest there a couple months ago. There's a little follow-up report on that one. Talk about analysis paralysis. What happens when you deviate from your strategies? Well, I'll do talk a little bit about that. And I talk about my own mistakes. You'll see a lot of my own confessions in this newsletter, the things that I do wrong. And you know what? A smart person will learn from their mistakes, but a wise person will learn from other people's mistakes. So come in and check out these newsletters, folks. Seriously, and I've been doing now for about 2 years. I believe we're on our 100th or 101st newsletter, and there's a lot of good gems in there. Okay, so check it out. All right. So there you go. That's the ad that's the ad that I post. So all right, here's a look at what happened last week on the market. Admittedly, I wasn't there for about half of it, but this is what it looks like here. Monday, SPY closed, little changed. Little changed. Okay, who wrote this here? Little changed ahead of the retail sector earnings. We had 5 wins on Monday. By the way, these wins and losses that I post here, these are actually the wins in the trading room. So these are all the ones that are witnessed by our traders. Okay. So you can see what happened here. Post market, of course, we came off a high of 647.13. And then on Tuesday, we got down a little bit here. SPY way down by NVIDIA stock and the broad decline in the tech stocks on Tuesday. Anticipation with what's coming up later in the week, especially the symposium, right? Of of finance ministers and whatnot at the Jackson Hole meeting, and they're a little concerned about what's going to be said there. So, and I'm just kind of pulling up something here on that one. That was actually Friday. That was Friday. So let me just see who was all there. Friday we had a meeting here at the Jackson Hole Symposium in Wyoming, and that was they talk about a broad range of subjects. But anyway, we'll get into that later. Not too much going on as far as that is concerned. I'm just trying to pull up the detail on that, see who's all there. Yes. Central bankers. Sorry, my throat is raspy here today. I've been talking all day. Finance minister, academics, financial market participants from around the world. They all show up at this thing and I guess hammer out what's going on in the world and as far as economic policy and whatnot. So anyway, that was Friday. We had Fed Chair Powell speaking on that. And on Wednesday, SPY fell short for its fourth consecutive day as the tech sector continued to slump. And again, investors are bracing for Fed Chair Powell's speech. All right, 8 wins, 1 loss, mostly to the downside on Wednesday. Thursday, SPY closed lower for the fifth straight day, again in anticipation of the Jackson Hole speech. 3 wins, 1 hold. Then on Friday, no, I wasn't there Friday. No, I was there Friday. Yeah, I was there Friday. Jackson Hole announced announcements of Powell's hint of near-term interest rate cuts. Shot SPY up over 9 points in a matter of a few minutes, if you can believe it, to close near record highs. We had 7 wins, 1 loss on Friday. So it was not a great week, but we ended up with oh, what did we hold? Oh, this hold was actually executed on Friday, the one on Thursday. So what do you have here? Let's see. How many wins here? 18, 20, 28 wins, 2 losses. 2 losses, 28 wins. So not a bad deal. All right, so let's look at the seasonals, folks. Look at the seasonal chart. The blue line at the top is the current SPY price. The red line is an average of the last 5 years composite of the daily and closing price. And if we zoom in, we're going to see that historically, SPY rose about 2 points from last week, and coming up the week following, coming up now, the next week, we rose about 3 points. Not to say that we're going to do it again, but if we follow seasonal patterns, we're going to see some pressure back to the upside. We'll see what happens. All right. So what happened here last week? Well, the Fed's definitely signaled a near-term interest rate cut, likely in September. That, of course, was elaborated by Powell, that inflation may be a one-time shift while the labor market may still deteriorate faster. And this is what he was talking about at the symposium, all right? Larger retailers, all right, all the big names came out with their earnings this last week. They're pointing to a resilient consumer spending despite tariffs uncertainty. So what's happened was tariffs are adding to the price. However, the retail sector so far has held pricing. They're absorbing any tariff-related increases, but they are expecting prices to rise in subsequent quarters. They have been warning the markets and the economy that, well, brace yourself. We can't absorb these prices forever. If these rates continue the way they are, somebody's going to have to pay. And here's the problem with tariffs. Long term, you all know who pays, you and me, right? We are the ones who pay for long-term tariffs. So, is it a good thing? I don't know. I don't believe tariffs are a good thing, but they didn't ask me, and which is probably why they didn't invite me to the symposium. I was going to say, oh, I believe in free market, world free market, folks. All right, and this way, the better players stay. The ones that can't stand the heat get out of the kitchen. Everybody's more competitive. They're all aiming to make things faster, better, and more efficiently and all that and lower prices. Everybody wins when there's free trade. For some reason, our beloved president has other ideas. So here's what happened. U.S. job gains are slowing. They're still there, but they're slowing. Personal consumption inflation remains above the Fed's 2% target. All right. We're still kind of pushing that. They want to get it down to this 2%. And it's just a real struggle. This last mile is the hardest one to run on this one here. Probability of Fed rate cut in September just, moved up pretty nicely from 75% before the speech to almost 90% after the speech. All right, we'll see if this is going to actually happen. And a lot of it depends on the PCE numbers that are going to be coming out. U.S. producer price inflation has ticked higher, indicating that companies may face more pricing pressure from suppliers. All right. PPI numbers came out the other day, 3.3%. CPI came in 2.7%. So we're edging higher. Not a lot, but you can see the pressure is building. Pressure is building, and perhaps lowering interest rates near term will pacify some people who are very particular on demanding that. But I think longer term, when inflation does creep in, we're going to see a rise back in the interest rates to combat higher inflation. This is what the market stats looked like last week. S&P ran up 0.3%, year to date 10%. Year to date 10%. So if we extrapolate this into the end of the year, we should probably see about a 15% increase in the S&P if this continues into the end of the year. Dow Jones 7.3%, and the Nasdaq is up 11.3%, even though it fell 0.6% this last week. The tech sector got hit pretty hard, and that's always the first to go, right? Whenever some bad news comes out, it's the overpriced, overvalued, I should say, overvalued tech sector that's the first to go, and it's also the first to reap the gains as soon as something good happens, as you can see. All right, week ahead. Tomorrow we have new home sales. Tuesday, durable goods orders, consumer confidence, Richmond Manufacturing Index. These are all slated to be released on Tuesday. Not much on Wednesday, but on Thursday we've got unemployment claims, preliminary GDP reports, pending home sales, and on Friday the all-important PCE, personal consumption expenditures. This is actually the number that the Feds are really watching to gauge their interest in raising or lowering interest rates. All right, the PCE. We also have at a lesser degree personal income and personal spending numbers, University of Michigan consumer sentiment and inflation expectations, and the Chicago PMI report. They're all set to be released on Friday. That means our volatility is going to be low on Monday and Wednesday, high on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Expect some more market volatility on those days. And so the reason I put this in here is when you have a lower volatility, it's a good idea to lower your expectations a little bit. Maybe instead of shooting for, say, 6% gain, maybe be happy with 4 or 5. You're generally not going to see as much movement in the market. And you're not going to see maybe as expensive options as you normally would when there is higher volatility. Okay. So the movement might not be quite as high. So it might just be drifting along a little more than an actual, an amazing move, right? So just get to keep in mind. Also, whenever President Trump speaks, expect elevated volatility. He has a way. He has a way of moving the markets, okay, just by what he says. So uh, yeah. So I don't know if anything is scheduled for him in that regard. I see nothing on the schedule. He generally has sort of last minute type um, scheduling with his speeches. So we generally don't find out until pretty well the same day or close to it whenever he speaks. So anyway, watch for that. All right. And we talk about that in the trading room whenever he speaks. We, of course, identify that right away, and we expect higher volatility those days. So, all right. So we are doing this 50K challenge. This is a very simple sort of a thing. We started with $5,000 back on January the 3rd, and we're looking to make $50,000 this year. So we're up to $44,095 year to date. That's August the 22nd, Friday. And we had some good days, we had some bad days. Here's the graph. We're slightly under where we should be, $2,800 short of where we should be. So I'll probably get a little more aggressive. But it looks like we're going to be getting into, I'm thinking here probably early September, mid-September. We should hit our $50,000 profit target, even though we gave ourselves 1 year to do it. And if that's the case, we'll make an executive decision, either stop it or continue it on. My personal belief is we should be able to hit $75,000, $80,000 before the end of the year if we continue with this. All right. So what we're doing is looking for short-term increases, not even trading every day. When the setup happens, we get in there and just aim for very modest gains. So these days we're budgeting $320 a trade. The way it starts out is I don't have the full, maybe I should get the full spreadsheet out here. Hang on, see if I can find it for you. Okay, where did I go? Okay, I'm gonna see if I can find that whole spreadsheet and bring it out to you so I could show you the results of this. Okay, hang on a second. Let me pull this out. Um, okay, here it is. So we started back in here. Here it is. Actually, January the 6th, not the 3rd. All right, so we kind of moved along here. We did have some losing days, but the rules here are very simple. Here, I'm going to show you the rules. All right, we're not inhibited by the pattern day trade rules. As a matter of fact, we can trade multiple times a day. All right, we can actually trade multiple. That's because we have 25,000 or more in our trading account. Okay. You can do the same, or you can have a cash account, whatever it is. It's not a one trade a day. We can actually do two or three. Sometimes we do two, sometimes we do once in a while we do three. As a rule, we've been kind of just doing one. All right, it's all done in the trading room. Okay, not in any hurry, just simply following the setups using scalps. Generally speaking, looking for the 10 EMA crossover, the 20, 1 to 5 minute charts, looking at chart patterns. I'm looking at other indicators that we use. All right, we have a bunch of indicators that we use. I'm not going to tell you what they all are here. You have to join the service. You have to get in the trading room and all that to get the full Monty. You know what I'm saying? Also look at the news, anticipate longer term direction. And I'm always, well, let's put it this way. I'd like to buy time. Once in a while, I'll get a little aggressive and I'll do, which is what I did on Friday. I did go with same day expirations. I generally don't want to, so I will bend the rules once in a while. All right. If I feel very good about the trade, the execution, I'll go a little further out on the limb on that, which is also what cost me some money over the period as well. So. And investing 5,000 to start and more, of course, as we're ramping it up. And the idea here is once you hit your target, stop trading. You're done for the day, unless you're on a real roll, right? Sometimes you just get on a roll. You say, okay, I'm going to do another one, maybe another one. But you have to really get that feel. So what I notice is that most of the money that I make is early on in the day. Later on in the morning, I tend to make less money, not more. Each of my trades will result in sort of a lesser gain. And then at some point, usually around 11, 12 o'clock, I really got to cut it off because then I tend to risk a little more, and I don't want to be in a risky trade. So generally focusing on calls. Now, if the market's really pushing down and it's a very solid move to the downside that I'm expecting, then I will do puts as well. And rules may change as conditions change. I had this one here, setting the turn 5 into 100K. I changed that rule, but it's actually 50,000. So anyway, we've been moving up along the ways here. You can see some days we had some real losers, and but because we have ample money in our account, we can actually get back into it. And we have made some money, we've lost some money, but some days we do very well. Other days we had some challenges. We can see that as a rule, we're doing quite well here. All right. And here's the chart. Yeah, we had some real challenges back here, but we brought it back up, and I expect this week to get back up over our expected target. So we're trading here. We started trading, I think it was $200 for 2 months. Here it is right here, $200. So that's our goal. $200 for the first 2 months. All right, January and February. And then from March and April, our expected target was 240 and then 280 and then 320. We're at the 320 mark now, right? This 320 mark finishes up at the end of August. Then we're going to be changing to $360. $360 is going to be our target as we head into the final stretch. All right, we'll see what happens. All right, so that's where we are with that. Now, here's our 2-minute tutorial. And the 2-minute tutorial this week is going to focus on Schwab Think or Swim tips. Just a few little tips here. We'll talk a little bit about what we're going to do here. I'm going to give some tips. Not all the tips, just some tips. Removing the sidebar, saving the layout, sending notifications, order defaults, and trade screen layouts. Trade screen layouts. I think saving layouts and trade screen layouts is the same. Okay, tell you what. Yeah, let's just change this here. Trade screen layouts and saving the layout. It's kind of the same. All right, so there we go. We'll just talk about these. These are the things we're going to talk about. So let's go back to that and we'll bring up the Thinkorswim. This here is the general Thinkorswim screen. If you have I'll add another one in there. I'm going to also add in here. Let me just go back for a second here. I'm making this up here. Option charting option prices. Option prices. Okay, there. Okay, hang on a second here. I just want to get the syntax right. Okay, there we go. Let's go. So we're going to go back to this here. Okay, bear with me. This is what we're doing. All right. Okay. A little sloppy on the PowerPoint tonight, but that's what we're going to do. removing the sidebar, saving the layout, sending notifications, order defaults, and charting option prices. That's what we're going to talk about today. Okay, so now, here's this. The first one, removing the sidebar. So let's say you have three charts up on the board. All right, let's say, well, let me just see here. Why? There you go. So let's say you have three charts up on the board. Your natural default will be something along this line here. And I just want to show you what, let's say you had SPY, right? You see these sidebars here, okay? Um, now I don't use those. I don't use those, but I also consider the real estate on my monitors to be very, very expensive, very precious. And I don't want any, you know, any redundant things, anything I don't need, any unnecessary things on there. I don't like them. I want to make sure all my charts are clean and I only have things on there that I'm using. I don't need anything taking up valuable space. So I don't like those bars. I don't use those sidebars. And this question was actually last week, but I want to sort of expand on it. So to get rid of those sidebars, you go up here to the top right. In this case, it says three charts or how many charts you have. You have just one chart, whatever it is. But you click on that. You scroll down to this menu where it says Show Sidebar and Cells. Untick that box, and like magic, they disappear. Okay? They disappear. And now all of a sudden, you now have, excuse me, you now have the charts the way you like them. Now, when you put indicators on the charts, whatever indicators you use, again, I'm not going to reiterate all the indicators that we use because that's that's what you learn in the trading room. All right, so we have to save something for that. So let's say you put some indicators on here. Let's say you put some lines and various indicators. Let's say I'm just going to put something in the middle chart here. I don't know, studies. I don't know. Let's just pull something up here. I don't know. This ADX, we're going to put that up there, okay? Whatever that is. That's not what we use. So I'm just kind of throwing this up there here. What else can we put in here? Here's one awesome oscillator. I have no idea what the awesome oscillator is, but I'm going to put that up there as well. And maybe one more here. We'll put some, I don't know, what else you get, just whatever again here. Put, oh, I don't know, whatever this linear, whatever this thing is. I'm going to put that up there. So let's say this is the chart that you have on here. Okay, you have your layout, whatever the layouts are that you have, and you want to save this so you don't have to recreate it every time you bring up Thinkorswim, especially when you have three charts or more charts or whatever you have. You don't want to get into, let's do this here too. All right, let's say for some reason on this chart you want to have something else on here. I don't know what this band pass filter is. I don't know what Bollinger, I do know what Bollinger bands are. I'm going to put that up there. Let's say you have another one here. I don't know what this correlation cycle angle is. Never heard of it. But you have that on there. And that's on this one here, this chart here, on this one on the left, you have, let's say, well, I don't know, whatever the DEMA is. Okay, again, I don't know what these are. I don't care what they are. DMH. Let's bring in DMI, whatever it is. Okay, apply that. Maybe one more indicator. Elegant oscillator. Oh, okay, let's put the elegant oscillator. Wow, maybe one day I should go through all these and see if they're of any benefit, but I doubt it. So you want to save this crazy layout, whatever you have, right? You want to save this. And all you do is you go up here to, once again, to this three charts I've got up on the top right up there. Again, as many charts as you have, that's what you're going to have up there. Click on that. You're going to go Save Grid As and give it a name. Save Grid As, and you're going to get this chart right here. Save Grid As, you're going to get this chart over here, okay? And you're going to give it a name. So let's just say, I'm just going to call this uh, DTS test charts, okay? Test charts, okay? These are not the layouts I have. I'm just throwing this out there. You click on Save. Now, if you already have other charts up here, and you want to just replace it, you click on this arrow here right to the right of it, and you'll get all your, all the other file names that you have. I'm going to call this DTS test charts. All right, click on that. And now if suddenly something happens and you lose it all. Let's say you lose it all and say, oh my gosh, I got this. What happened here? I want to bring back the charts that I had. Just go up to that box over there and click on DTS test charts, and you're going to get this. You're going to get well, you're going to get it's showing up on my second screen here. It says, current, I wish I could show you because I can't move this. I can't move it over to my other screen here. It says, current layout grid will be reloaded. You sure you want to load the configuration? I click on OK. And now all three charts are going to come back the way I had set them all up. Okay. All right. So next thing I'm going to show you is sending notifications. So whenever you have a transaction, or whenever a lot of things happen on Thinkorswim, you can send notifications to your cell phone and to your email. The easiest way to do that is go to the setup, click on that, go to application settings. That's up in the top right where it says setup. Click on application settings, and you're going to get this chart here. And then go down to notifications right here. Click on that tab. And I just like to use order fills. I'm not really crazy about the announcements or any of this other stuff. So I just click on order fills, and then up at the, just to the top of that, you can have your email address. It'll ask for that. So I've got this huge DayTradeSPY, and you can also add another address, and you can also send to your cell phone. So in the real, so this is the sim I'm showing you, but in the real charts, you also have a field here where you can also send it to your cell phone as a text message. Now, there's a way of setting it up to your text to your cell phone. Depending on your carrier, you'll have to go and Google how do you send a text message to, say, T-Mobile cell phone, and it'll give you the code, the format, how to use the code. And then therefore, whenever your order gets filled, it will deliver the information to your as a text message to your cell phone and also to your email. And that's kind of nice to have, especially when you're, let's say, out for lunch and got some friends around, and all of a sudden your phone triggers that you just got a text and you had a sell order in for your options. You don't even have to look at your phone. You know you just sold. So that's really pretty cool. All right. All right. Order defaults. I get this question asked sometimes. They say, well, my default's always 10. What if I want 20? What if I want 2? Not a problem. Go up to the setup again, application settings, and up here at the top, the tab that says order defaults. Click on options if you're trading options. And right here where it says quantity of orders, you can change this to whatever you want. 2 contracts, 5 contracts, 500 contracts, whatever you want your order default to be. All right. And you can change other parameters here as well. All right. Order default type limit, uh, order quantity increments, 1. Uh, Default time and force type as day as opposed to get till canceled. You can change all of these defaults and click on apply settings and OK, and then you'll have your defaults. I'm going to leave this at 10, okay? And that's what we've been generally using, 10. That's probably the default that most people use is 10, and just apply the settings, and then that'll be it. So very simple. All right, you can change a lot of the parameters. Probably just about everything on these parameters you can change. So all right, one more thing I want to show you, charting option prices. Nice thing about Thinkorswim is you can actually chart. Let me go back to this here. I'm going to just go back to this one. This is very confusing. Get rid of all these. There we go. So I'm going to remove all these other crazy studies, edit studies. I'm just going to remove all these guys off the charts so as to not confuse anybody. Apply. Okay, so let's say you want to chart your option price. Your option price. So let's say I'm looking here. I want to see and the price here kind of finished up on Friday around 6:45, 2025. Let's say I'm looking at the 6:46 call options for next week. Well, up here, all right, I'm just going to change this to this one here. Yellow. Now let's make it this lilac, number 9. Okay. So up here at the top, where it says symbol, here so you can actually chart the option price. You start with the period, and then you put the symbol code in, which is SPY, SPY in this case, and then you put the expiration date in, starting with the year. So the year is 25, and then the month. So let's say I want to do August the 29th. Well, August is the 8th month, so 08, and the 29th day, that's going to be next Friday. Now I punch up a C for call, P for put. I'll do a call. And what I say, 645, 646, 646. I punch in the strike price, 646. So once again, period, SPY, expiration date starting with the year, then the month, then the day, C for call, P for put, and then the strike price. And then you hit enter. And this here gives me a history of the option price. This is what it looks like. And this is a 1 minute chart. I can change it to 5 minute chart, whatever I want to do. All the other charting parameters apply, right? Whatever you want to do. If you want to do it an hourly chart, whatever, this is going to give you an hourly chart of the price. But let's go back to the 1 minute chart. This gives you a history recording of the option price. Now, if you have any other indicators on your charts, like exponential moving averages, simple moving averages, whatever, any of those things, Fibonacci, any of that stuff, completely ignore it for the option prices. Option prices do not go to those indicators, okay? They do not apply, all right? So this only shows you the history of the option prices. Now imagine you're holding calls that you bought right here for about $2 on these option prices, and then the news came out at 10 o'clock, probably Fed Chair Powell speaking and talking about what his near-term drop in interest rates. Suddenly, that option went from $2, shot up to 3.5. End of the day here, over $4 within a few minutes. You'd have doubled your money right here from, in about 15 minutes, you'd have doubled your money. Pretty cool. But this gives you a whole history of these option prices. This is a 1 minute chart. So you look at any of these charts. So this 1 minute here at 10:08, that option price had a low, and I'm taking the numbers from here at the top. Low here of 317 to a high of 359. 359. Let's say you got into this option, say at 320, 320, and you want to make, say, 6% on that option. Immediately put up for sale, 339. You could have made your profit right there. Let me see here. Let's see, you got a 320, right? 320, something like this here. What did I say, 339. You'd have been out of this. Oh my gosh, you'd have been out of this trade right here. Uh, in a matter of seconds. But no likelihood you wouldn't have been able to get out of this fast enough. It shot up so fast. This baby hit a high of 359. Wow. The reality is, even if you had a limit order for 350, was it 339, it would have given you a market order by the time you had the order into the market. Probably would have given you 350, 355, a lot more than what you paid for it or what you're expecting to get out of it. Okay, that's pretty cool. And that's how you chart option prices. You can use this for any stock, by the way. All right, any stock. Let's say you're looking at, I don't know, what are we going to look at here? Microsoft 507. Let's say you want to do an option price on the 507 calls. Again, start with the period, the code MSFT, and the strike price, say 250829 for this coming Friday. Let's say the put price for the 506, P for put, C for call, 506. I don't follow Microsoft options. I'm assuming, all right, this has options, and it looks like it does not. Okay. Right, why not? SPY. Let's go back here. Let's go to Microsoft. Let's see what the options are for Microsoft. Okay, yes, they have different prices. Okay, so let's say the 510 puts. So period, MSFT 25 0829 put, what did I say, 510? Let's try that. All right, why is it August the 29th? It has no options. Is that what it is? Let's take a look. Maybe that's the thing here. Option chains. Okay. Oh, FST. Okay. August 29th. For some reason, it's not showing up. 510. Did they not have them at the time? 510 puts. For some reason, it's not coming up. 510 puts. Microsoft, period. Maybe it's because it's the after hours. MFST. Was that maybe a different option code? Maybe it's a different option code. That could be, I guess maybe that's something that's got something to do with it. I'm not really sure. 27, no, 20, 25, 0829, puts 510. Interesting. For some reason, it's not coming up. Maybe the option code is different for this. I don't know. Let me take a look here and see if I can find what the answer is. I don't want to spend a lot of time because we don't trade Microsoft, but I'm just curious as to why this is not showing up. And give me half a second here. I mean, it's showing up here in the trade grid. Maybe it's an after hours thing. For whatever reason, that option code is not presenting itself. So, but I know it works for SPY, and that's all I really care about is SPY. All SPY all the time. Okay. All right. Anyway, that 2-minute tutorial has turned into a little more than that. So, uh, oh my gosh, look at the time already. I'm trying not to keep you guys too long. Folks, I'm going to tell you something. We've got the programs that work, and if you're looking for success, join our tribe. By the way, I got a lot of answers here as to where people are from here. I didn't get a chance to say hi to, and a big shout out to Stephen in Santa Barbara, Merrill, and Oklahoma, Orange County, California for Scott. Bobby, good to see you online. Stuart, Florida. Say hi to John for us. Okay. And let me see, Virginia, Blue Ridge, Virginia. I just drove through there the other day. Very nice place. That's a long drive. South Carolina back to Buffalo, New York. That's a long drive. Long drive. Oh my gosh, it's a long drive. You know, we stop and then we go and stop and we stopped at Cracker Barrel. Pull up my phone. Big controversy about Cracker Barrel. What do you guys think of Cracker Barrel? The new logo and all that. I don't want them to change Cracker Barrel either. Okay. All right. So, all right, let's get to some of the things that we talk about here, folks. We have the trading room. All right. You got to get in on this. My buddy John and I, we host this every morning, 9:20 to 10:30 Eastern Time. Trade what we teach, teach what we trade, learn and earn. These are interactive sessions. You've got a questions box. You can ask your questions. We answer them. Can't guarantee we'll get to them all, but we'd like to get them all if we can. And don't be shy when you're in the trading room. Do ask the question because chances are if you have a question, there's probably 10, 20 people behind you wondering the same thing. All right. Very exciting. This is where our strategies come alive, and it's really a learn and earn situation. We bring in the indicators we use. We discuss the news that's going to move the markets, the news that happened, the upcoming news that's going to happen. These are the things that we discuss. We log on at 9:20 Eastern time, and we don't monopolize your whole day. It's not one of these trading rooms that you just pop in and out, which is really crazy because let's say, you pop out at lunch, come back at, 1:30 in the afternoon, and you don't know what's happened during that time you're away because did somebody get into a trade? Did they get out? You don't know who the professionals are, if the microphone's open to everybody, and you don't know who's doing what. It's very confusing, and it keeps you from doing other things. These are actually events. We don't open up the microphones to everybody. It's not a free for all. John and I host this. We monitor, we completely narrate the whole thing, and it's truly a place where you can learn exactly what we do. No stone left unturned. Folks, best pricing, I believe, I don't even want to tell you now. I think I'm guessing 6.99 for a quarter. I could be wrong. The best thing to do, you can go to our website, in which case you'll pay the full price, right? But I would suggest that with all of our programs, you contact customer service at daytradespy.com. Just email them, say, I'm interested in the trading room. What's your best price? You have any specials on? Ask them that. Any specials for the day? They'll probably come out with something for you, okay? Do that for all of our programs. The trading room, this is an awesome program, and we've been doing this again for like what, 16 years. We're in our 16th year. Next up is our Day Trade Spy signal. This is a particular option sent to your cell phone 3 to 5 times a week, usually in the mornings. I think it's always in the mornings. Algo based morning trades. Immediately buy, put it up for sale for 5% gain. And if you don't sell it by the end of the day, sell it at market close. Now, those of you who are familiar with what we do, you'll understand and know that these trades, even though this is the protocol, but these trades will have time on their side. They're not like same day or short day trades or something. They have plenty of time, and most often you can even hold them overnight if you need to. And some people are doing extremely well with this trade, making a lot more than 5%. And I know some people are having challenges. Same thing here. Contact customer service at DayTradeSPY for pricing. And this is actually a really cool program for those of you who are not able to be in front of a computer first thing in the morning. All right, let's say you're out running around doing things, you're working, you're taking the kids to school or whatever it is. You're going to the gym, whatever. But you got your cell phone with you, and you get the signal. Stop everything, go to your app, make your trade, and come back later and collect your gains. All right. Next up, pick of the day, very similar to the day trade by signal, but this is a pick that's actually sent to your inbox at 9 o'clock in the morning, and this one is anchored on in time. This is designed to be bought at market open. All right. Now, if the market is going against you, wait until it turns around and goes back in your direction, then you would buy it. Okay. These are handpicked. It's not algo based. It's handpicked. John and I get together every morning and we hash out which way we think the market's going. Now, admittedly, I think it was Friday we had a losing trade on this one, which we felt really bad about because the market had all the indicators, all the things that we were looking at had a very strong indicator to the downside. But boy, did we miss the mark on that one, or something happened. But by the time 9:30 rolled around, I don't know. Suddenly, everybody woke up and shot the thing through the roof of the. Oh, every now and then you're going to get that. Every now and then you're going to get that. However, if you're still holding it, you're probably going to be okay. So, get in the trading room. We'll talk about that if you're still holding those puts. So. We put these up for sale for 6% gain. All right, these are meant to be a 6% gain, and they can be held overnight if need be. So, what I want to stress at this point too is that nothing is ever going to be 100% all the time. There's absolutely no program out there that's going to be 100% all the time. All right, it just doesn't exist. If it did, everybody would be doing it, and it would not work. Right? So always practice good money management. Never invest more than you can afford to lose. Um, be very careful in that regard, okay? So anyway, we talk more about that in the trading room. All right, again, customer service at DayTradeSPY for pricing. All right, what else do we have up here? The inner circle. You get your morning market assessment sent to you at 9 o'clock Eastern time every morning, along with a follow-up report later on in the day. You'll be invited to our Wednesday night weekly meetups. And these are also recorded for later review. If you can't make it, don't worry about it. If you want to get your questions answered, but you can't make it, simply email John Johnson at daytradespy.com or myself, and I'll send the email to John to make sure he gets it. I think it's just John at daytradespy.com. With your question, he'll answer the questions on the Wednesday night sessions. All right. These are recorded for later review, and I know that we have a lot of people sort of in different time zones, and they can't really get to these. If you are in Europe, you're probably not going to be up at 2 or 3 in the morning to to get into the weekly meetups. So, great way to get started, folks. If you're new to trading, it's an outstanding way to get started, and it's also good to be in the know as a seasoned trader. It's our most affordable service, and it's really pretty cool because you see, we do the heavy lifting for you, so you don't have to in the morning. I mean, you can go and analyze everything yourselves, and that would be fine. But you're going to be spending a lot of time doing it. You might not even know what to look for. You might not know what's important, what's not important, what to put more importance on it. There's a lot of things that go into it. All right, a lot of things that go into it. And what we do is we have our feelers out to a lot of different places here. And that's what we do. So let us do the heavy lifting, give you the morning market report, take it for what it's worth, do your own, use this as just an add-on, and I think for the price, you can't go wrong with this. All right, so let's get into some questions. I know they're really stacking up, and already it's 8:58. My goodness, I didn't realize time's just slipping by here. Okay, let's see here. Okay. Da-da-da. What happened last week? I could not get in the meeting. I'm not really sure, Michael. I wasn't on for a couple of days. I'm not sure which day you were talking about there. Um, you couldn't get into the meeting. I'm not sure which meeting you're referring to. If I have more information, maybe I can send it over to John. Maybe there's some crazy thing that went on there. So, yeah, the pick of the day had challenges, but actually we have taken steps to rectify the pick this week. So we should be in a lot better shape this week with the pick. Um, but yeah, it was a crazy week, and it really blew up. So for the pick, we tend to put a 40% stop loss or stop at the end of the day for these because for reporting purposes we have to have an end to these things. And unfortunately, we had some challenges with the pick this week. So, but probably the best thing to do is just monitor that for 1 or 2 days this week to see where. Oh, not going. No, 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 no. Back to this. Okay, there we go. Monitor this for a day or two to see how it works, and then once we get back in the groove with this, we should be in a much better spot. Okay. All right. And if you're in the puts, I would hold on. We'll see what transpires this week. Okay. I think there's gonna be a lot of news and stuff, and there could be some tariffs news as well. We'll see what happens, and we're gonna be taking a look at that. So, all right. Okay. I am trading with cash, not margin. I want to grow my 5K to 50K starting now. If I get the trading room package and trade several times a day, how many days, Monday to Friday, can I trade? Not get with pattern day trade rules. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Okay, so the pattern day trade rule says you can trade three round trip trades in a 5-day period. Okay. If you have a cash account, you can trade as much as you want as long as you have the cash to back up your trades. All right. If you have, say, $10,000, your first trade is $2,000. You can do another trade for $8,000. You can do, two more trades for $4,000 each, whatever you want to do. As long as you have the cash to back up your trades, you can trade as much as you want. Um, so you can trade more than once. It's not just a one-time thing. But that's if you have a cash account. If you have a margin account, then you're limited to trading 3 times in a 5-day period. Now, if you go over that, you get slapped on the wrist. I think if you get through what, 3 or 4 of those or something in a 12-month rolling period, might want to check with your broker as to the particulars on your particular broker. I think it's 4 with Thinkorswim. I'm not really sure. Don't quote me on that. I used to know this stuff, but then you're sent to the corner to sit on your hands for 3 months. Okay. There is a way around that. I know a tasty trade, there's a way around that. What you can do is simply call your broker and say you want to open up another account, then move your cash from the one to the other, and then continue on. Other people, what they do is they'll have, say, 3 or 4 different accounts set up, and they'll trade the 3 trades, then they go on to the next broker, next broker, next broker, until they make the full circuit. Then when they get in total, they're 25K, they move it all to one account, then they're happy to trade that way. So you can start the 5K program anytime you want. We do this in the trading room. It is a good program to get into, and I highly recommend it. You don't have to start you can start this at any time. We discuss the entries, we discuss the exits, we discuss it all, right? So that's kind of what we do. So do give that a shot if you're interested in that. All right, so I'm just thinking here. It's now 9:02. Kind of jumping the gun here. All right. Do you ever recommend straddle trades ahead of big announcements such as Friday with Jay Paul's speech? No, we don't. We don't do straddles, strangles. We don't do spreads. We don't do naked trades or anything like that. Um, because I just never found those to work really well for me. I have made money. I've lost money. Uh, Personally, I've had a lot of my experience has just not been that great with those. You have to monitor them, roll them out into the next month, roll them out to the next strike price, whatever. And a lot of things that can go wrong, right? You've got multiple legs you have to watch and monitor, and just make one little mistake and you're toast, right? So I just like to pick a direction and go with it. So what I would have done, say in the Powell case, what happened there? on Friday. I didn't know which way the market was going to go, obviously. But if you wanted to, let's say you normally trade, let's say you normally trade 10 contracts. Well, maybe you want to do five contracts in one direction, five in the other, right? Because you know it's going to move. So you know the one's going to become worthless, the other's going to go shoot to the moon, right? And that's the thing with straddles and strangles. I always wondered about that because let's say you're making money in one direction, but you're losing it in the other. So what's the deal there, right? What's the deal there? Um, I So I never really had good luck with that. But uh, I think we made money on I can't remember now what we did there. I think we made money to the upside on that one too. We just got into it. So as soon as we saw the move happening, we jumped right in. Now here's a little tip. So if you see the market really moving in that direction and you want to buy the calls right away, don't don't put your order in for the ask price because the market's going to be moving too fast. So you're not going to get it. Right? Let's say the option is $3. The ask price is $3. Say 295 by $3. And you say, "Oh, I'll get it for $3." No, here's what to do. Put your order in for 305 or 310. I know it's counterintuitive to what you want to do because well, wait a second, I want to get it for less, not more. But if you see this thing moving and just shooting up, you want to get yourself into the front of the line. And by putting in, say, an order for 305 or 306 or 310 that you're willing to pay for it, you're putting yourself out there and you're going to get filled. And other people are doing the same. They're all pushing the market higher, right? And in no time at all, that baby's going to 320, 330, 350, 380. And then as soon as you get it, bang, put up for sale right away at 370, 380, 390, whatever. Dump it because quite often what happens is after a big run up, you'll also get the leveling off and retracement. It'll come back down. So do not let a real profit turn into a loss. Try to maximize that loss. Just get in there, make the money. The options are not buy and hold programs, right? You want to just get in there, make the money, get in, get out, and that's really what you want to do. So anyway, that's that. All right. You can do a market order on that too, but the only thing with the market order I don't like is that you can actually end up paying a lot more money for it. I still like to have a limit order and know exactly how much the most I'm going to pay. In other words, what I'm saying is this question concerning how to just make a market order. Here's the problem. Let's say you buy it for a market order. Let's say 295, $3. Well, your order might be at the back of the bus, and you get filled at the market order when it's up at 380 or 390, when it's already made the move, right? So you get it at the top, and they say, okay, well, yeah, we'll take this guy out here. We'll buy his at 380. Meanwhile, now it's settled in. Now it's coming back down. So you get filled for 380, and then you look at it again. Now it's worth 360, 350. Oh my gosh, what did I do? I sold at the high, or I bought at the high. So you still want that limit order so you know exactly how how much you're willing to pay, right? So, all right, a couple quick questions here before we kind of jump into the end of this thing here. So, okay, the master class. Can you speak briefly on the master class? We just finished the master class this last week. Looks like it includes limited membership to the trading room and the circle, so it might be a great program to start with. The masterclass is an excellent program. I don't know if they have that up on the website yet or not. I never checked. Let me see if they do or not. Day Trade Society Masterclass. Subscribe now. All right, take a look at the master. Okay, so I guess it's up here. Yeah. All right. This is a great program, folks. If you have not yet, this is actually a really great program, right? I'm not kidding you here. Get in on this. If you have not yet done the master, we just finished a series of all these amazing workshops. And by the way, these workshops went, I want to say about 2 hours each. So there's a lot of good stuff here, a lot of great material. Everything we do is right in there. Okay, everything we do is right in there, right? And yeah, it's pretty cool. They got this. Yeah, I don't know how long it's going to be available up here for, but I do know they take these programs off after a while. If this is on the website, which it looks like it is, jump in on this. I'm not going to kid you. This is well worth the money. Well worth the money. Now, I want to tell you something about this. If they're selling this for 1995, all right, this program, not that long ago, all right, before Eagle got involved, we were selling these for four, five, $6,000, and they were selling quite briskly, and they were worth every penny of it. So, if you can get this for 1995, jump on it. Jump on it. Okay, I'm not kidding you. All right. And thanks for bringing that to my attention. Who was that? Lauren. Lauren, thank you so much for that. Okay. Okay, question about I'm using E-Trade. I watched several of your webinars. Had a question about price type. Which ones would we use in the trading room, market or limit? I like to use limit orders all the time. Um, yeah, I don't like market orders. I like to use limit orders because I like to know the most that I'm paying for something and the least that I'm getting for something. I want to be in control of my account, not some market out there. All right. Because I made that mistake in the past. By the way, everything I talk about is because I made those mistakes. All right. And I find when you give the market the authority to control your account, at some point you're going to lose. Just like I mentioned earlier, if you could get filled to for a buy-in price at, 390, and then before you know it, the market's back down to 360, 350, and you're wondering what happened. Now you're stuck. Now you're stuck. So anyway, hope that works. So, all right. Thank you for that, Anthony. Anthony says, it's a steal. It's a steal. It's definitely a steal. All right, here's what I want you to do, folks. I want you to put a number in the questions box between 1 and 100. All right, between 1 and 100. And we are going to roll the dice with our DayTradeSPY.com number generator. Let me just pull it up here. Let me get this out of here. Hang on a second. No, not that one, not that one. All right, in the questions box, number generator, and let me get this sorted out here. I'm going to give you a few seconds to get all the numbers in. And when I bring up the number generator, I'm going to bring it up now. This is not the number here. What you see here is not the number when we roll the dice, okay? In fact, I'm going to put it down here. I'm just waiting for everybody to pull in their numbers. Come on, guys. Give me your numbers. Going to give you another 20 seconds here to make sure everything comes through okay. Person closest to the number that is generated is going to get our ebook, Triumphs and Tragedies. Let me see if I can pull that ebook up. If I can find it on my other monitor here. It's actually a pretty cool ebook. There's like 40 some pages. These are 42 pages. Okay, here it is right here. This here is an ebook that I'd written actually. Actually, I updated it this year. But these are personal tales of trading triumphs and tragedies. These are people that had come through our program. Real people, real stories. Mujahid took 1,000 to $100,000 twice. Twice. Now I understand Mujahid has passed away a couple years ago. All right. So Kim's Cape. Oh, this is a good one. Ooh, you'll want to get this one here. Kim's Capers. Okay. That was really bad news. But anyway, we got some really good. Oh, Dennis. Dennis, this guy's an awesome trader. I haven't talked to Dennis in a while, but this guy's just unbelievable. All right. So anyway, this goes on, and just gonna go all the way down. And I think there's a story in here about myself. We get a lot of good stories in here, folks. Amber Alert, Doubting Thomas. So this is a good one too. All of these are good stories. They're not long. They're good stories. This is one of the best here too. Anyway, this is the ebook you're gonna get. Triumphs and Tragedies. So everybody's okay. We're gonna cut off the right here. We are cutting off the if you haven't yet put your number in, that's it. Now we are going to go up here and generate our number. I believe if I click on this and if I hit this button here, the number is 20, ladies and gentlemen. The random number is 20. Let's see who is the closest to 20. I have the numbers right here. Okay. Bear with me. There are a lot of numbers. Okay. Let me see. Scott P is at 27. Okay. Scott P is at 27. No, Lauren. Lauren D is at, he was one of the people that actually commented. He's at 23. Wow, so far Lauren D has it. Sorry, you've been displaced. Don, D-O-N-C, came in at 18. Okay, so far Don, that's D-O-N-C, is at 18. So far he's got the, no, he's got the winning number here. Okay, and okay, so if there's a tie, then you both get it, okay? So I say that because Bill um, came in at 22. Bill F came in at 22. So far, we have a tie, both Don and Bill, 18 and 22. Wow, crazy. Oh my gosh, McGill hit 20. No, okay, okay. He came in at 54. Then he hit 20 afterwards. Sorry, Miguel. No luck. Nice try, buddy. Okay, our winners, folks, Don C and Bill F, 18 and 22. The number is 20. Congratulations on that. So, okay, so we're gonna move those guys over to the side. All right. Anyway, I'm just looking here. Let's see what I can do here. Anybody else? No, nobody else. That's good, Miguel. You know what? Nice try, buddy. He actually his first number was 54. All right, folks, it's been a real pleasure. Stick around and you're going to get the URL that's going to let you subscribe to the trading room. Have a good night, everybody.
Now you're the one, shine brighter than the moon and the sun. Be great at what you do, give it all of you, and trust the process and keep your eyes on the prize. I can tell you what I'm seeing. You